Video game developers have got to be some of the most disrespected people on the face of this planet. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I want to talk about video game layoffs. Okay, I actually don't really like that word. These people just get fired. Okay, the gaming industry has gone through this, not cycle, but this thing of just firing people. I don't know if you want to call it a phase or what. If this is a phase, this phase has been going on for years on end, and there doesn't seem to be any sign of it slowing down, unfortunately. Now, what sparked me to really just make this video was yesterday, Epic Games decided, hey, we're just gonna fire over 1,000 employees. I would say this is out of the blue, but to be honest, is this really out of the blue? You know, this is the gaming industry again. No one is safe. Even if you're like Battlefield 6, who outsold Call of Duty, outperformed Call of Duty, your biggest competitor, who had one of the best Battlefield games ever, I would say, you still get fired. You're not safe. Even if you're a Fortnite developer, right? One of the most successful video games of all time, you're not safe. A game that came out now almost 10 years ago, right, shaped the gaming industry to pretty much make it what it is today with all the microtransactions and, you know, all these collaborations. You're not safe. Of course, each individual person that got fired from Epic Games, they're each their own person, right? They each matter just the same as the next person. But when I saw this, right, that the creator, designer, I'm not sure the title exactly, of Jonesy, right, the character Jonesy in Fortnite, also got laid off, and I think they worked there for like 11 years or something like that. That was just crazy. That actually kind of shocked me, and it really shouldn't have, because again, in this gaming industry, you're simply not safe. No matter what you do, no matter how good you are at your job, you're just not safe with these big companies, these big corporations. One day they can just decide they're gonna fire you, and it's as easy and as simple as that. Now, of course, Epic Games put out a statement trying to, I guess, keep control of the situation, try to explain themselves. So they pretty much said starting 2025, Fortnite had a decline, a not significant decline, but they definitely started making less money than they have in previously, and thus they have to, quote unquote, get rid of some people, make some more money in that way. There's a lot more that they said. Epic Games posted it themselves, so if you want to check that out, you can, but to be honest, I don't really care, because it's just corporate talk. These billion-dollar companies, corporations, just decide they're gonna fire thousands and thousands of people to make themselves more money, to save some money. Not a care in the world for these people and their families, you know, nothing. And real quick, going back to Battlefield, I believe like last month, they fired a bunch of people across all 3 of their studios. Actually, I believe it's 4. So DICE, Ripple Effect, Criterion Games, and Motive Studio. DICE, of course, being the main one, as they have been the main developer for Battlefield for the last however many years, I believe, and then every other studio is kind of a supporting studio. They also do have major roles in Battlefield 6, but you know, DICE is the major one. Across all 4 of those studios, I believe everyone received some layoffs. Again, you would think with Battlefield doing so much better than Call of Duty this year, the peak player count was higher than like ever before, the game sold really well, you would think that the developers would have some reprieve, they would be safe. But no, it just was not good enough for the corporation Electronic Arts. EA and Epic Games are just the most recent examples of this issue that's plaguing the gaming industry. Since 2026 has began, we've had several other layoffs and studio closures. To list a few more layoffs and closures across the gaming industry, we've got Ubisoft Toronto, Ubisoft Halifax, Wildlight Entertainment, who made High Guard, which also just shut down recently. Riot Games, Bluepoint from PlayStation, shut down completely. And there are many more. Again, these are just some of the more major names that you might hear across the gaming industry. I really wish there was something more that we as gamers and, you know, just consumers could do for these developers, because these developers are some of the most hardworking people out there, right? They absolutely do not get the respect and credit they deserve for working on these games and putting out some of these amazing games, even some of the not so amazing games, right? Like High Guard, for example. That one was a different case than a lot of these other cases, excuse me. But even so, right, these developers were working on a game that, I mean, I don't know if they believe this game to be a good game, a great game, but nonetheless, they worked on it. They put time and effort into it, and I mean, Yeah, again, let's look back at Battlefield 6, right? We as consumers, as gamers, we supported Battlefield 6. We showed that we liked the game. We showed them that they did a good job on the game. We bought the game. We were all playing it. And again, you would think that that would keep these developers safe, but no, a lot of them still got fired. What's so unfortunate about the gaming industry is that many of these development teams, these developers, they don't have unions. So when something like this happens, they have nobody to fight back for them. They get fired, you know, like they find out on Twitter, like everyone else or something, that they just got fired and now they've got to try and find a new job. I don't know what the rate is of like people who get fired from, you know, game studios finding new jobs, new employment, relatively soon, but still, it's something that, especially in this day and age, this economy, is not really something you can afford to happen. Another thing is these developers, for the most part, do not get paid nearly enough for the work they do. If you're a game developer, you enjoy being a game developer. You are a game developer because that's what you want to do. You love video games. For the flack they get, the reception they get, right, especially if something goes bad in the game, or, you know, maybe a publisher or someone at the top of the company makes these decisions, right, they're the ones that receive the flack for it, not these people who make the high decisions, or these people hire that make the decisions. For the most part, it has gotten better, right? People do realize they should be criticizing the people up top who made these decisions, because developers, at the end of the day, they're just kind of, I guess, following orders, right? I don't really like that phrase, but that's what they're doing. They're just being told what to do, and that's what they have to do. For the amount of work they do, the crap they go through, right, is just so unfortunate that they don't get treated better. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video on this today, especially after the whole Epic Games firing layoff situation, because man, it's just ridiculous, especially when you fire thousands of people, bro. People who have worked there for a decade or even over a decade, people who have been working there since the beginning of Fortnite. Hopefully everyone who, you know, was affected by this lands on their feet. They find something better, find something more stable. Though if you're gonna stay in the gaming industry, I don't really know the odds of you finding something stable. Again, nowhere is really safe, and I really hope companies can do better. That's really optimistic of me, right? But I really hope companies can do better and just stop this nonsense. The gaming industry is the most profitable industry in the world, right? I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, if you combine the movie, TV, you know, everything else, every other industry, if you combine it, it doesn't even equate to what the gaming industry makes. There definitely is enough to go around for everyone. It's just that these companies are simply greedy, and that's just an issue the world has to overcome, and I don't really know if I can believe the world's gonna overcome that. But yeah, as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, like it up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.